Hey everybody, it's Lindsay, and this has been one of the most requested videos for me to do for a long time now, and I'm so sorry it's taken me so long to do this. It's just been one of those things that, other things needed to be done first, and I just felt like this is kind of a big video, and so I wanted to do it right, so I'm finally getting into it. This is the makeup that I wore on my wedding day. I break down the products, why I used them, how they turned out. I talk about long wearing products, things that photograph well, things that help your makeup stay up during heat, sweat, dancing, all that kind of stuff, kissing. So this is what I did. The products that I used will be listed below. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask, but if you want to see how I did this look, keep watching. All right, so to start, we need to lay the foundation with our foundation, and before you do that, this is a step that I highly suggest if your skin gets at all oily throughout the day for a big event, and that is Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray. This stuff is awesome. I definitely don't use this every day, but I'll use it if I really want my makeup to hold up throughout the day, if I'm going to a special event or something like that. A little bit pricey, but totally worth it, if especially for a big day like your wedding, if your skin gets at all oily. So I prep the skin with this before anything, well, after moisturizing, but before anything else, I just put like 2 or 3 sprays on and then let it dry on there before you do anything else. On my wedding day, I did not use any kind of a primer just because I didn't want more on my skin than needed to be there, because I do have a tendency to get oily. It was a June wedding, outside for the reception, so as little as I could put on my face that would make me get oily or make my makeup break down throughout the day, that's what I did. So I know the Urban Decay De-Slick really helped keep my makeup fresh looking, because who wants to be touching up throughout the day on your wedding day? You just don't even have to be thinking about that. And I don't think I really touched up at all other than like lipstick, and my makeup held up so well. As for moisturizer, I need some kind of a moisturizer or my skin just feels really tight. I used a very light moisturizer with no SPF, and one of the big reasons for that is because for some reason, some SPFs will give that white cast in photos where, your face looks like a different color than the rest of your body. It looks a lot lighter. And how horrifying to get back your wedding pictures that you spent so much money on and your face looks white in all of them. So I just really was cautious about that. I didn't wear any sunscreen of any kind, and that is also why I picked. The next step is my foundation. It's probably one of the biggest things. It's probably the biggest part of your bridal day makeup, because it really is what lays the base for all the rest of your makeup. I chose Estee Lauder Double Wear Light because it doesn't have sunscreen in it, so it's gonna photograph well. I wore this for several weeks before the wedding to know how my skin would react to it, how it looked in pictures, and that's one thing I really suggest for brides, is to don't try anything new right before your wedding, because if you had a breakout or something, that would just not be good. Know how your skin is gonna react and how things wear on you. I like this. I've tried double wear, the regular double wear, and it is just too heavy for me and too thick. And since I was a young bride and I didn't need tons of coverage, I didn't want anything that would make me look too made up or my skin too unnatural, because I wore strapless. So I didn't want anything to look really different between my face and my chest or anything like that. So I was really happy with choosing Double Wear Light. On my wedding day, I was between intensity 3 and 4. I mixed them. I'm a lot more fair now, so I'm intensity 2 now. And so what I did is I just take something like that. And even now, this is probably a tinge too dark for me. I probably should be mixing it with one, but I don't feel like buying another one. I use the Beauty Blender. Love the Beauty Blender. If you haven't seen my review on it or comparison or anything like that, I would definitely check that out, because it's just really helpful. I seriously love the Beauty Blender. I use it all the time. I mean, pretty much every day. Nothing applies better for me. And I go right over my lips too, because I have pretty pigmented lips, and I really want to neutralize them out before putting lipstick on or anything like that. So I just kind of blot this all over my face. Being careful to go lighter around the edges so you don't have any chance of seeing a line. And I go over my eyelids, definitely go under my eyelids, my eyes, I mean. And I really like this foundation a lot, and I've been using it a lot lately since I got my new shade since I'm not quite as tan as I was. I just really like the foundation, the finish it gives. It's, I would call more medium coverage, but it's definitely buildable. Gives a very natural finish, pretty matte, and it just wears really nicely throughout the day, but still looks more, I think, like natural skin than the original Double Wear. So just be sure to go all the way up into your hairline so you don't see any lines. And I always take, you know, pretty much whatever's left on the sponge and go down my face a little bit too, down my neck, just so that you don't see any lines. I'm always worried about that. Next is concealer, and I used the Double Wear, Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Flawless Wear Concealer, and I'm using the shade Now that corresponds with this foundation, and it is in 02 Light Medium. And so I just do 2 little dots and just kind of then pat that in. I always mention this, but go all the way up to your lash line, especially if you have any kind of discoloration or redness like I do. It just really brightens things up and keeps things from looking, I don't know, uneven around your eyes. And I always take it down a little bit too. And do the same for the other eye. I just really like this concealer, and I like the way that it covers what I need to cover, but it doesn't get creasy on me or cakey, and it's just really easy to blend, and I like that. And then if you have any blemishes anywhere else that you want to cover, you know, use whatever. I think I also used my Sonia Kashuk Hidden Agenda palette, and this is really nice too. Definitely cakier, thicker concealers, nice for more blemishes and things like that. So if you have something, if you have a blemish, this is okay for under eyes. I like something a little bit creamier for under eyes, but this is really good for blemish because it's really tacky and will stick on there nicely. So then, I don't think I used any, I know I didn't use my Bare Minerals Well Rested under my eyes because I was too dark at that time for this. Now I might do that. This does have SPF 20 in it, which you can be, might be a little bit concerning, but I've never had this photographed poorly for me. I'm just gonna skip it since I didn't do that on my wedding day. The next is powder, and I used my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural in Medium Plus, and I'm still using the same color. I mean, it just gives me a little bit of warmth, and I don't notice it looking too dark for me, so I used to use the same shade. And I just use a little sponge like this and just press it in. I press it under my eyelids, or under my eyes, I keep saying that, just to help set that concealer, and press it into the cheeks and around your nose. This helps absorb oil, it helps set your foundation, and it also helps, you know, make pores look a lot smaller. You don't want too much powder because you just don't want that powdery look, but it's definitely important for setting your foundation and absorbing oil throughout the day. So that's probably enough. Then I did use a bronzer. I used my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. This is a really nice matte bronzer. A little bit dark for me now, so I'll use a light hand with it. One of the brushes I really like to use is my e.l.f. complexion brush. I just think that this is, there's like hair on mine. I just think this is the perfect texture and fluffiness for bronzer. It's not too dense, that's gonna apply too thickly, and it's also not gonna rub off any concealer or foundation you already put on. And so what I do is I just, where the sun naturally hits you, I just do it up, push it into my hairline, around the side of the face, kind of go over my nose just a little bit, down, and then I like to blend it down my cheeks. And notice I haven't really put any more on my brush, just kind of blending out what's already there. Then I did contour, so I used this brush, which is my Sonia Kashuk brush. I want to say it's a multi-purpose brush, but I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it's just really nice, and I like to use this end for contouring. And so I'm using the same thing, the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. And what I do is I just find kind of the hollow of my cheek here, and I blend it up like that into the hairline and then down. And I'm, you know, very natural. You don't want anything too out of the ordinary for you on your wedding day, so you really have to know. If you're not the kind of girl that wears a lot of makeup, you know, you definitely need to wear makeup on your wedding day, but don't go over the top glamorous if that's not you, because you'll look back and be like, what was I thinking? That is not me at all. I wear a lot of makeup on a daily basis. I normally don't contour, but for me it was like every little bit to make me look a little bit more put together, a little bit more glamorous on my wedding day. And then I just use the tip that doesn't have anything on it to blend it out a little bit. And so I think that just adds more dimension to your face and looks really nice. So then next it is time for blush, and I use my e.l.f. blush brush. I seriously love my e.l.f. blushes, or my e.l.f. brushes. They are so good. They're just the best quality. I love them. And I use NARS Luster. I use this all over my cheek area, just kind of brushing it. You don't want to get too close to your nose, but brushing it up then above where we just contoured. And this is just a really nice bronzy peach shade, pretty universally flattering. And if I was doing my makeup now, this would probably be enough for me because of the coloring that I am right now. But you know, in June I was definitely had more color. So then for the apples of my cheeks, I used NARS Orgasm, which just, you know, everybody's heard of this. Just a very universally flattering coral shade with gold. And I just kind of use that on the apples of my cheeks just to give a little bit more dimension and a little bit more of a natural flush. I actually really do like the way that looks now, even with my coloring now. So then, oh, one last thing that I did on my face, and I think I might have done this after I did all of my makeup, but you can do it now. Highlighter. I think highlighter is so important for bride on your wedding day, just because it makes you look very bridal and a little angelic. It just pulls everything together and gives you, you know, cheekbones you might not have, because I definitely don't have them. And I really like my Lorac Perfectly Lit in the color Spotlight. This is what the container looks like. This is the powder. It just gives the most beautiful sheen to the skin without looking glittery or sparkly or anything. I use my e.l.f. complexion brush. This is the mineral one. And I just get a little bit in there and right where the light would naturally hit you. And you can see the sheen that it gives. It's just so beautiful, so natural, and just gives you a little bit of a glow. I really like this for the holidays too, right about now. But when I do makeup on brides, I always use this, and it just looks so pretty. You can down your nose a little bit, and yeah, oh my gosh, I love that. So now it's time to start on the eyes, and the first thing you want to do is prep your eyes, and I did that with my MAC paint pot in Painterly. This just helps to make your eyeshadow stick better, and it really helps to even out your skin tone, hide any capillaries, any veins, anything that, you know, you wouldn't want being seen on your eyelids. On a day-to-day basis, this is all I use. I don't use another primer. But since it's such a big day, you really don't want anything to possibly go wrong with your shadow. So I also used my Urban Decay Primer Potion. I just have the little mini, but you know, and I don't do this step normally on a normal day because the paint pot is plenty for me. But this just is a little bit of added insurance to make sure your shadow is gonna stay. And a little bit goes a long way. You don't want too much because then that can have the reverse effect. So then once you have that spread on there, I used my Stila eyeshadow in the color Nude, and you can see this has been a big favorite of mine. It is just a matte nude colored eyeshadow, slightly peachy. This particular shade has actually been discontinued, but you know, any shade that's, you know, nude for your skin tone is gonna work. And I just use my finger and I kind of blend this all over the front half of my eyelid all the way up to my brow bone, and I even go in this pocket here, and this just makes a really nice smooth base for eyeshadow, and I just really like the way it looks under eyeshadow. So then I used, all of my eyeshadows came from the Naked palette, the original, and the first color I'm gonna be using is Sin. It's that one right there, a little bit of a pinky shimmer, and I'm just using my e.l.f. one of these professional eyeshadow brushes and packing that on my lid here. You know, going not all the way into the inner corner, but onto the lid, and then I swept it up a little bit here. And then I took Virgin, which is the highlight shade here, and is this the same brush I used? Oh well, doesn't make much of a difference. They're both light colors. And I take Virgin under my brow bone here. That just helps highlight the brow. And then I also took that on the very inner corner here, and even down a little bit here. Next, I'm using my crease brush from Target and the color Smog right there. And start at the outer corner, and like I explained before, I put my pinky here and kind of anchor it, and then I just sweep it in and up to create kind of my outer V here. I get it in the outer corner, sweep it in, my sweeping that up, and you really don't need to apply more. Just keep using what's on your brush to blend it out, and then I use another clean, large, fluffy brush to really clean it up and smooth it out. So that looks totally crazy now, but then what I do is I take a large, this is just like a large flat paddle brush that's clean, I don't use shadow on this, and then I take it and I go up the side here to clean up, because you don't want to bring that shadow down too far, it makes your eyes look saggy, and then I go over it like this, and this just helps, see, look at how much different that looks, it helps blend it out. And it's probably time for me to clean that brush anyway, because it's still a little dirty, but then if you have any more that's left behind, just take, you know, a clean cotton round and clean that up. And then using my Essence of Beauty crease brush, the large of the two, and the color Hustle, which is right here, I used this to really deepen up the outer corner and just blend up, not quite as high as we went before, but just use that to deepen it up. And then I also went back with my Target crease brush and the color Toasted, which is just a little bit lighter than Smog, which is what we already put on. And I use this one to blend those two colors together and just go up right here with it between those two colors we put on, and it just helps blend it a little bit more. And then again, I take this clean fluffy brush and smooth that out. And then using the smaller of the two Essence of Beauty crease brushes, I take Smog and go under my lash line here, about halfway in, to connect it to the color we have out here already. And then I also took Hustle, the darker shade, and went just not quite as far in as I did with Smog, and then again back up here slightly on the lash line. And then that is basically it for the shadow here. Next was eyeliner, and I use my Laura Mercier Cake Liner in Black Ebony. I do this before eyeshadow or anything else, or I'm sorry, mascara, or, you know, doing lashes or anything like that. And I just start in the outer corner and kind of wing it like that, and then really push it in between the lashes, because this is what really helps your lashes look fuller. And I go all the way in the front, and then just fill them in. And this is meant to be used on your waterline to tightline. I didn't do that just because I didn't want to completely constrict my eyes. I mean, I didn't use it on my waterline, like pressing it in there or above. You can still see my skin tone, just because I wanted my eyes as wide open as they could be. So then that's basically it for that liner. Oh, and I also take it, you know, whatever's kind of still on my brush, and just extend it underneath a little bit to continue that out. Next is mascara, and if you know yourself and that you're probably going to get emotional on your wedding day, definitely use waterproof mascara. I used my CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume Waterproof, which is incredibly, incredibly waterproof. It's amazing. So I just curled my lashes and put on my mascara, and yeah, just press it a couple times to curl, then clean off the tip of your wand and put on your mascara. So I'm gonna put this on, I'm gonna let it dry a little bit, and then I'll be back to show you the lashes I'm gonna be putting on. Okay, so I put on one coat of my CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume Mascara, and now it's time for lashes, and the ones that I used were Salon Perfect Perfectly Glamorous Demi Wispies, and these are just what you get at Walmart. They are pretty much as cheap as they come, but I really, really liked these. And as you can see from up close, they are pretty dramatic. They're pretty long and pretty thick, but they crisscross. And I think that is one way to get really natural looking lashes, because if They all come straight out. I think when you close your eyes, you can really see that you've just got a thick line of lashes that go straight down. But when they crisscross like this, I think it helps them look a little bit more natural. So you can see I don't have them on yet. I have them on this eye. But you can also see that my lashes are naturally longer, so they're pretty much as long, not quite as long, but pretty much as long as the fake lashes. The lashes just help to thicken it up. And I think that seriously everybody should wear lashes on their wedding day, just because in pictures, your lashes disappear. So I think it's important because it really helps define your eyes and look so beautiful and feminine in pictures. So even if you're not, you know, that much of a glamorous person that you would think that lashes might look weird on you, wear a very natural one just to give you a little bit of thickening in your lashes. I totally recommend it. So I'm gonna put these on and I'll be back to do the lips. Okay, so there were a couple more things that I wanted to mention about the lashes. One of the most important is the lash glue I use, and my bottle is completely disgusting, but I use Revlon Precision Lash Adhesive, and that's what it looks like. I got this at Walmart a while ago, and it has a really thin brush applicator, which is seriously amazing. I will never use a squeeze tube again. It's just so easy to put fake lashes on. It makes it so simple. And then I kind of just put them on my eyes. It's harder for me to show on video and it'll make this so much longer. So I just kind of push them in, and then once the glue, before it's completely dry, but once it's gotten a lot more tacky, then I just go in with a flathead tweezers like this and then just kind of press them into my natural lashes. So then one thing you want to do after putting them on is do one more coat of mascara just to help blend them all together. And this really just helps them make them look more natural. And one thing, this glue dries clear, but it still really makes a big difference to use liquid liner over top of it once everything's dry. And my favorite one of all time is Physicians Formula Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Eyeliner plus Serum. Ugh. And I use the color Ultra Black. This is what it looks like. It is just so easy to use. Seriously, the easiest black eyeliner you've ever used, and it comes with this really precise pen-like applicator. And what I just do is over, you know, the line where they connect, and I also paint on the very tops of the lashes to hide any glue that could be remaining. And then this just helps pull it all together so it doesn't look like you just have crazy thick eyelashes and then more subdued eyes. I like to paint a thicker eyeliner than what we did with the Laura Mercier powder eyeliner and really just go over the lashes. So that's basically it. That's exactly what I did to the other side, and I just really think it helps pull it all together. And then last thing for the eyes is brows. You absolutely cannot forget about your brows, and my favorite eyebrow product is Mary Kay Brow Definer Pencil, and I'm in the color Blonde. And for me, I've mentioned this before, it is so hard to find a brow pencil that isn't, or any brow product that isn't too dark and isn't red, doesn't pull any tones of red. And this one is a completely neutral blonde color, and it is seriously the easiest way to fill in your brows. And I just kind of lightly pencil in where I have some sparse brows, and then that's it. And brows seriously make the biggest difference. It makes your look so much more put together. So now I'm just gonna zoom out here, there we go, and finish with lips. And what I did on my wedding day was Too Faced Perfect Lips eyeliner. I've talked about this so many times. Favorite lip liner, seriously universally flattering. You can use this with like any shade that you're gonna put over it. It just is your lips but better kind of lip liner. And you know what? I have a little bit of lip balm on my lips, so I'm just gonna blot that off because it's not sticking as well as it should. There we go. Lip balm free. So now this lip liner is seriously like butter. It's just so smooth the way it goes on. And I love the color it gives my lips, because a lot of supposedly natural lip liners can look too brown or too dark. This one's just a beautiful shade of a neutral mauve. And then also take it and fill in your entire lip, and this just helps make your lipstick last a lot longer. So that's what it looks like before any lip color. And then my favorite lip color of all time, It's the one I wore on my wedding day. It's the one I wear practically every day, is MAC Viva Glam 2. It is pretty much the exact same color as the lip liner, and it's just such a beautiful natural color. Because I wear neutral lipstick day to day, so I didn't want to do anything that was too crazy from that, but this color just complements my skin tone so well, and you know your skin tone best, so find something that, you know, works well for you. And I find because it's not such a glossy, shiny moisturizing lipstick, it really lasts longer than some others. And then the lip gloss that I wore over top of this, which I probably would not wear again, was L'Oreal Infallible 6 Hour Never Fail Lip Gloss in the color Barely Nude. And that is what the tube looks like. And this stuff seriously lasts forever for a gloss, and it doesn't get cakey or separate like some long wearing products do. It just stays really nice. But the biggest problem with this is it gets stuck on your teeth. I have a bunch of shades of this. I love how long it lasts, and especially since you're gonna be kissing and things like that, you don't want your lip gloss coming off every single time, and this won't, but you have to constantly be like doing that to make sure it's not on your lips. So that's the only thing, you know, try it out beforehand if you're gonna try something like this. It definitely has the long wearing, but if it's gonna be on your teeth the whole time, that's not good either. So that's what I did. This is the finished look. Oh, no, it's not. One of the most important things. Now that we're completely done with everything, and I probably should have done this before lips, but it doesn't really make much of a difference. Second coat of De-Slick. Now that all my makeup's done, 2 or 3 sprays. Just let it dry naturally, and you're completely done. This really does help make your makeup last longer. So this is the makeup I did on my wedding day. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I've gotten a lot of comments from people who are getting married in the upcoming months. I hope this helped you, and that I've answered some of your questions and everything like that. If you have any questions about what I did, products I used, how things held up, please feel free to ask. I love hearing from you, and I really want to help, because the wedding day is the biggest day of your life, and you want to look perfect and not, you want your makeup to be the last thing on your mind during the day. I mean, you don't want to be worried about anything running, smudging, you know, falling off anything. So I hope this helps you, and let me know what you think. So hope you have a great day. See you, everybody.